And a warning, this next report contains details of suicide and self-harm. Californian parents are suing OpenAI over the death of their 16-year-old son, alleging ChatGPT encouraged him to take his own life. I spoke to Mitali Jain from the Tech Justice Law Centre, who's one of the lawyers representing the family.
Our case is premised on a fairly straightforward proposition. OpenAI and Sam Altman personally prematurely put a defective product onto the market that was not yet demonstrably safe, and did so with knowledge of the risks that were inherent in ChatGPT 4.0, a chatbot, and with Sam Altman personally overruling calls from within his company to make sure that the product was safe. So ultimately, OpenAI chose profit over user safety and well-being, and those risks that were inherent in ChatGPT 4.0 did manifest and ended up causing our client's son, Adam Rain, to take his own life in April of this year.
And it sounds to me, Mitali, that very much at the centre of this is around those safety protocols that there is an expectation are embedded within these programs to stop that kind of information getting to anyone, but particularly to young people.
Yeah, the ChatGPT 4.0, over the course of 7 months that Adam engaged it, really did as it was programmed to do, to be as human-like and to be as flattering and to be as personalized as possible of a tool. Adam started using it in September of 24 as a homework helper, and it quickly morphed from being a homework helper to being a trusted confidant to then ultimately in the spring of this year becoming a suicide coach. And although Adam explicitly mentioned the word suicide over 200 times, at no point did ChatGPT shut down the conversation or escalate it to the appropriate guardians, his parents, or to crisis counseling resources. In fact, it just carried on and engaged with him. And indeed, over that same period, ChatGPT itself mentioned the word suicide over 1,200 times. So the safety protocols absolutely failed. And, as well, the design features that were built into the product at the level of development were such that the human-like tendency of the chatbot were inevitable. This product ingratiated itself onto Adam's life and became a wedge between him and his in real life network of family and friends. What occurred was entirely foreseeable because the risks of programming a tech product to be as human-like as possible are pretty obvious. They're self-evident. And in fact, that's what's played out. People, I think, like Adam, they lose a sense of the distinction between fact and fiction, what's real, what's not real. And even if they understand logically that this tech product is not a human, the relationship that is created between the product and the user becomes real. And that became very evident through reviewing Adam's transcripts.
There's been a statement, Mitali, put out from OpenAI where they have acknowledged recent heartbreaking cases, in their words, of people using ChatGPT. They've also sought to say that they are strengthening safety safeguards. They say that they recognise and respond with empathy. They escalate the risk of physical harm to others for human review, and that they're doing ongoing safety research. What's your response to this statement from OpenAI?
So I should mention that there were two statements actually that came out after news of the lawsuit became public. In one statement, OpenAI made a stunning admission that, in fact, its ChatGPT model 4.0 was intended for short conversations, that the longer the conversation lasts, the more likely its safety system is to degrade. And so, to me, that sounds like an admission that their system failed. It's failed the basic protocols of trying to protect users in moments of crisis. After that, they published a blog post in which they mentioned the various things that you've just referenced. Ultimately, though, there's nobody monitoring OpenAI to do these things. These are not promises, nor is there external oversight. We cannot continue to allow tech companies to police themselves, because just as easily as they roll out protections, they can roll them back. And we've seen this. We've seen this playbook occur time and time again with various tech companies.
It sounds like you're calling there for a real rethink on what many would call a self-monitoring regime by these tech companies. Is that part of the aim and the work of the Tech Justice Law Project?
Absolutely. We are involved in strategic litigation so that we can better advance advocacy, not just for the families who've been harmed, but also to bring about more durable solutions in the sphere, so that we can have lawmakers actually pass legislation that is meaningful and durable, so that we can have regulators come in and enforce existing laws. We want to work together so that we can both bring accountability for what's occurred here for the Rain family, and also for future, in a prospective way, think about what kinds of safeguards need to be in place to prevent this from ever happening again.
And just finally, what are Adam's parents hoping for will come from this?
They want accountability. They want durable safeguards. They don't want any other child to go through what Adam went through. They want people far and wide to understand the dangers inherent in this technology. They want all of these things, and I think that's why they so bravely and courageously came forward publicly to share their story.
Mitali Jain is with the Tech Justice Law Project, one of the lawyers representing the Rain family. Thank you so much for your time this morning here on Mornings.
Thank you, Dan.
If you or anyone you know was affected by this video, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14, Beyond Blue on 1300 224 636, the Suicide Callback Service on 1300 659 467, or go online to headspace.org.au.